presentation on Nearpod. My name is Tommy Tran. What is Nearpod? Nearpod is a platform that enables teachers to use their tablet to manage content on a student's mobile device. It combines presentation, collaboration, and real-time assessment tools into one integrated solution. Nearpod allows for fluid control of students' devices while lecturing. Nearpod allows teachers to employ a series of different tools while in lecture. Teachers are able to embed assessments such as quizzes, tests, polls, open-ended questions, and fill-in-the-blank worksheets. So Nearpod is extremely useful and versatile for a teacher to use. I'm not able to use it for my presentation because when I present, I need to generate a code for everyone to use on their devices. So I'm sticking to the PowerPoint for now, and I'm going to try my best to explain the features that Nearpod has to offer to you guys. So what do we need to start? Nearpod is a great presentation tool that has many features that other presentation tools lack. It allows instructors to take control of student devices and guide them along the lessons and dictate what the students can look at. So this is really, really helpful because a lot of students are always on their cell phones in class. So they're able to use their cell phones during the Nearpod presentation. It projects the slides that you have created onto their cell phones, and then they can't Alt-Tab out of their devices unless you let them. So to start, an instructor would need an email to sign up for an account with Nearpod, some sort of device, preferably a laptop or desktop, because it's easier to view the results and the quantitative data that comes up with Nearpod. And students will need their own devices, preferably a laptop, an iPad, or even their own cell phones. Nearpod has different accounts that you can access, and depending on which account you have, it offers you a different variety of tools and storage space. So the silver account is the one I have. It's the most basic one, but it has 50 megabytes of storage, 20 megabytes of presentation each. So there's a certain amount of slides and media you can put into each of your presentation. Up to 30 students per live lesson, and web and Twitter support. And you can insert whichever pictures into your presentation. So it does pretty much a lot of the things that you need it to do. I've never ran into any storage issues with the lectures that I've downloaded, the other presentations that I downloaded from other teachers, or the presentations that I've made. I've never ran into any problems with it so far, and I feel like even if you did, you can always just make another account to store your information on. The gold, however, is $12 a month with 3 gigabytes of storage, so a lot more to store all of your data in, and your presentations can be up to 40 megabytes. And I guess this one is really helpful if you're working at a public school where the classes are a lot bigger. There's 50 students per lesson. In my class, sometimes there's more than 30 students. I just have them pair up because even sometimes there are students who don't have their devices or they can't connect. So it's really not a big deal. When they're signing in, you just tell the student to put both of their names on there. And we'll go over your slides. Before I tell you more about the features, I guess you're all wondering, does this really work? Does this have an effect in the classroom? There was an independent study done by Bull, sorry if I butcher his name, and Dr. Gabe from Dakota University. They did an independent study on the use of cell phones in class and information in class. So students would be allowed to be on their phones while a lecture is going on a chosen topic that was given. A pre-test and a post-test were given to each student, after which a similar group was taught the same content using Nearpod to regulate the use of their devices. The preliminary results, which you'll see on the next slide, of the research suggest that using Nearpod to limit student distraction and multitasking contributes to a positive learning outcome. We see the quantitative data for the research. The Nearpod group is in blue, whereas the Facebook group is in red. You can see on the pretest column, both groups scored very similar. The Facebook group scored about 1% higher, so not too much of variation. However, they go through a standard lecture, one group getting the lecture content normally, the other group using Nearpod. The post-test score, however, you see that the Nearpod group scored much higher, about 20% higher of retaining the information than if they didn't use Nearpod. So this is not definitive proof, but it's something to be aware of. Nearpod does help detract and take away from students being distracted on their cellular devices, which is really good because this is a skill that they need to learn. And this is one way that we as teachers can come alongside them and help monitor their technology inside the classroom. And Nearpod be used for. So over these next few slides, you're going to see some of the features I'll go over. But at its simplest form, Nearpod can be used as a substitute for other presentation tools. The presentation will be transmitted to each student's devices where they can screenshot the slides to refer to later. Students can also pinch and zoom the screen to take better screenshots of the slides or to see better. So this is really helpful for my students who want to sit in the front because they wear glasses, but there's not enough seats. I can just project the slides directly onto their devices and they can copy it down on their note-taking guide from there or screenshot it to save for later into their own separate. It helps. This is one of my favorite functions of Nearpod is distributing resources. Nearpod allows teachers to upload worksheets onto the presentation itself. From there, students can use text boxes to fill in answers and drag them into the designated area and write in it using a stylus. A new paperless approach that allows immediate collection of content. No more missing work. This is great for me because I am extremely unorganized. So Nearpod can collect it by period and export them to a PDF file to show you who turned in their assignments. So it's really, really helpful. The only downside to this I noticed is if the students miss the lecture or the class, they don't have access to the slides because you have to do a live lesson. When you pay for gold and the $12 a month account, the students can do a self-paced lesson so they can do the lecture on their own time and fill in the PowerPoints and the slides. So you can just print out the worksheet for them. That's how I've been doing it. You're able to create your own worksheets or just take a picture of a worksheet you found online and upload it, and the students can work on it from there. So it's really this is one of my favorite functions. I would lecture for a certain amount of time, and then I would stop, and I would do assessment in the middle of it. So this is an example of one of the assessment questions I did, and I gave them multiple choices. And on the left side, you can see some of my students, or the green and red pie chart, that's the amount of questions they got correct. The red is the amount they got wrong, and the gray part is we're still waiting for students to come in and answer the question. So if I notice a lot of students is missing the question, I can go back and work it through with them and spend more time. So it's really good because it gives you up-to-date quantitative data of how your students are retaining the information as you move through the slides and if they're really paying attention or not. So this is really good. These are other notable features that you can use on Nearpod that I haven't used a lot. So for open-ended free response questions, you can type in the question that you want, like a paragraph or essay format, and then you let the students type in their answers and they can submit it to you. You can then pick a student's response anonymously and project that response onto everyone's screens and discuss their questions or the answers from there. So that's really helpful for like an English or a social study class where you're doing discussion. I haven't used this feature a lot. Virtual reality tours such as 360-degree photos. This is really cool. I used this when I taught ecology, and I would put in different ecosystems. Like I did one on the ocean, the rainforest, the mountains, the frozen lands, tundras. So you would be able to go in there, and then you would be able to use your phone and turn your phone around in real life to look at the surrounding areas. So that's really good. Pre-made lessons are actually really helpful. Sometimes I can make my own lessons, or I can find them online from other teachers that have made them before. I can either purchase them, or if they're free, I can use them, and I can edit, put in, and take out any slides that I feel that are necessary or unnecessary. So that's a really helpful function as well, because I don't have a lot of time on my hands, so it's nice to see what other teachers have done before me and download it and edit it to my own teaching style. So that's essentially what Nearpod is. I found it extremely helpful, and I think it's worth looking into, especially for the free account. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Thank you.